Hey, everybody, with so many of us exploring parks and trails all around the Bay Area, I thought it might be a good time to talk about ticks. Not a fun topic, but an important one. Rebecca Winch with Hillsborough County took a break from work to chat about it with us. Thanks so much, Rebecca.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Sarah.
Okay, let's kick things off with a question from Joanna. What types of ticks are native and most common to Central Florida and the Tampa Bay area?
So we do have black-legged ticks, otherwise known as the deer tick, the dreaded deer tick. We also have Lone Star ticks, American dog ticks, and Gulf Coast ticks, as well as a few other species, but those are the most common.
Is there a time of year that they're more prevalent?
Ticks are around in some form or another all year long, but the adults are definitely the most prevalent from around March to November, and those are the ones that we need to worry about because the adult ticks are the ones that bite humans.
Stephen wants to know, are they more abundant in certain areas?
Ticks have been found to be much more abundant in areas with heavy woods and brush and areas with tall grass.
Robert wants to know how they end up on him because he says, all I'm doing is walking. Do they fall out of the trees or something?
It's a common misconception, but ticks usually do not fall out of trees onto people. What actually happens is they wait on pieces of grass or on leaves with their front legs extended, and they have special sensors in their front legs that let them sense when something warm that exhales carbon dioxide, aka us, is nearby. So when they sense a human or an animal, they reach out and grab. So ticks are getting on you when you brush by grass or like low-lying brush, and then they climb up.
How do you check for them?
If you're going on a long hike, it might be a good idea to just do a quick visible areas tick check before you even get in the car to go back home. And of course, you're going to want to shower as soon as you get back because if a tick hasn't embedded yet, that might help to wash the ticks off your body. But after that, you are going to want to do a thorough tick check. So what that means is making sure that you especially check all of those areas where skin meets skin, where it might be warmer. So, armpits, between the fingers, back of the ear, all of those places. And then spots where your clothes are really tight to you, like your waistband or the top of your socks, because ticks like to hang out where it's the warmest.
What about your head or your hair?
That's a really good question. Of course, it's a little bit harder to check your own head for ticks. If you're checking someone else, you're going to want to get under a bright light, look at their scalp. But actually, surprisingly, one of the best ways to find ticks is with your fingertips. We have really sensitive fingertips, and a lot of ticks are so small that they might just look like a little speck of dirt or like a poppy seed. But your fingertips will be able to feel that little bump on you better than your eyes can see it. So, of course, you're going to want to touch your whole scalp. And then if you're checking someone else, even though you can also see their head, fingertips are still a good idea to use just to feel that little bump.
Kimberly is asking a really important question. She wants to know, how do you safely remove a tick?
I use the CDC approved method, which is definitely the one that you should be going for. You're going to want to take a pair of good blunt tweezers, not the really sharp ones. You're going to want to grasp the tick as close to its head as possible. And then slowly and gently pull with, just a very light pressure. Don't yank or jerk that tick. The tick should come out if you pull it gently and slowly with tweezers.
Donna is asking, how can you make sure that the head does not stay under skin?
The best way to do that is to just be really careful removing the tick. If you jerk that tick, the head might come off and stay under your skin, and you're going to want to avoid damaging or crushing the tick's body while its head is still embedded. So keep the tick whole, pull it out slowly. You shouldn't have an issue.
What happens if the head gets stuck under the skin? What would that mean?
It's going to require removal and it can get infected. It's just not a fun experience.
Whenever people think about ticks, they generally think about Lyme disease as well. So Tommy wants to know, does Lyme disease exist in Florida ticks?
So a lot of people think that Lyme disease is only a northern problem. I've heard this from so many people, and it's actually not. So although Florida doesn't have a super high instance of Lyme disease, we do have about 100 cases a year or so per the CDC website.
Emily wants to know, what should she look for in terms of signs and symptoms of Lyme disease?
So we all know about that bullseye rash that you can get sometimes if you are bitten by a tick carrying Lyme disease, but that doesn't always happen. And since the signs and symptoms of Lyme disease can be very vague and can be completely different depending on the person, if you become ill or you have strange symptoms after you've been in a natural area where you suspect that you might have had a tick on you, you really just want to talk to your doctor and tell them, hey, I'm not feeling right. I think I may have gotten a tick bite, and they'll take it from there. They're definitely the best resource for that.
Julia wrote, I had a Lone Star tick on me for the first time. What are the common diseases that they carry, and what's up with a meat allergy?
So the meat allergy actually isn't due to a disease caused by the tick bite. It is an immune response to something in the tick bite itself. And there are actually quite a few diseases that Lone Star ticks can carry, including southern tick rash illness and a few other ones. So once again, you're definitely going to want to talk to your doctor if you feel strange, or especially if you have like an anaphylactic reaction to something. Of course, you definitely want to talk to your doctor. They're going to know what to do.
Good advice. Good advice. Okay, let's talk about prevention. What should we be wearing when we're walking through parks and trails with brush, high grass, that sort of thing?
Long sleeves and long pants are your best first defense against a tick bite. You can tuck your pants into your socks or boots. That will help keep the ticks from being able to crawl up your pant leg. Wear long sleeves, and you can gather the sleeve at your wrist to help keep ticks from going up your sleeves as well. And then, of course, just light colored clothing, which helps you be able to see ticks before they get inside of your clothes. And then the last great way is actually to treat your clothes with an EPA-approved substance called permethrin, which actually helps to prevent insects from getting, or arachnids in this case, from getting onto your clothing.
Stephen wants to know, is DEET the best defense? How long should we allow exposure of it on the skin?
The CDC does recommend DEET as a great tick repellent, and the best part about that is that it also works really well on mosquitoes as well. And some DEET sprays last a really long time after you put them on, which is great for a long hike. They are EPA approved and they've been tested. So as long as the bottle says it's safe to use on the skin, that's how long it's safe to use on the skin.
Danielle wrote, are there essential oils that I could use to ward off ticks?
So as far as I know, there are no essential oils that have actually been tested and proven to work to keep ticks and mosquitoes off of you. Now there is a really great plant-based repellent that's the only one that's been proven to keep mosquitoes and ticks off of you, and that is called oil of lemon eucalyptus, which can be kind of confusing because it sounds like an essential oil, and there is lemon eucalyptus essential oil. This is different. This is a concentrated version. You have to look and make sure that that's what it says on the label, oil of lemon eucalyptus.
Julia says, in the mountains, we use dog tick collars around the ankle of our pants in high grass or tick areas. Does that work here?
I've never tried that, but I would say to follow the CDC recommendation and use either a skin-safe repellent on your skin or a permethrin repellent on your clothing, plus tucking your pants into your boots and all that.
Speaking of dogs, Marilee says, how can you safely keep ticks off of your dog?
So the best way to do that is honestly just to use a vet-recommended product, like a monthly flea and tick treatment, either topical or a pill. And of course, you do want to check your dog for ticks, just like you check yourself and your kids. And that is a great way to get in some good petting time after a hike too. I can guarantee your dog will love it.
Rebecca, thank you so much for answering all of our questions. I know everybody in the Facebook group is going to really appreciate it, as do I, of course. If you would like to read more about what she had to say, you can find a full article on our website. That's abcactionnews.com. Just look for the Good Morning Tampa Bay section.